All right. I think we are live and on Facebook. Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. My name is Amy Hammer. I'm one of the assistant directors of admission at Chapman.
Yeah, and I'm Sadie Reeves. I'm also an assistant director of admission here at Chapman. We're really excited to get to know you guys today. We know it's a little different than probably what you're used to, but we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. I'll go ahead and start. I'm from Brea, California, so not too far from Chapman. I grew up just about 20 minutes away and actually was a student at Chapman myself, so didn't go too far from home once I graduated. I found a home in the admission office, and it's really fun for me to be able to work with students that were once in my shoes. I'm a first generation college student and work a lot with our Promising Futures program on campus for those first gen students, and had a lot of fun at Chapman. So I'm excited to chat with you guys today as you make your decision.
Yeah, and again, my name's Amy. I'm originally from the San Francisco Bay Area. Came down to Chapman. 4 great years there, and I think it's safe to say we both loved our experiences so much that they couldn't get rid of us. That's why we stuck around. And I've been working with the institution since then. I was previously a communication studies major. I know we already have some questions popping up. One of them was related to the communication school, so I'm happy to talk about that later on. But today we are excited to provide some more information for our admitted students, which is so exciting. You can probably tell that we're not on campus right now, and that was intentional. Yesterday we received word from Orange County. We're having restrictions in terms of gatherings. Luckily, Sadie and I are roommates, so it worked out really well for us to still be able to host this Facebook Live and answer any questions that you have. Because I know this is a very trying time in terms of trying to figure out what those next steps look like, and then in the midst of all of this chaos that's going on right now. So we are understanding, obviously, of some of the hurdles that you're experiencing. We also are trying to navigate this landscape and really figure out some options for all of you. So thank you again for your patience on your end as we're trying to put everything together. And hopefully today we'll be able to cover a pretty wide range of information. Everything from what we're doing to provide opportunities for you all, but then also what questions that you might have on hand that we can help answer for you.
Yeah, we're really thankful for your time today and rolling with the punches, seeing as trips have been canceled and things are a little bit strange out there. So we hope that you are healthy and safe and cozy in your homes with your pets. We are, so we're hoping that you are as well. Look out for each other out there.
Yeah, definitely. So just to kind of start with some things, we've been sending out some announcements. You might have already seen it on our social media or through various emails sent from our office, but for the spring semester, all of our events have been canceled. So unfortunately, we won't be able to host our preview day, which is our admitted student event on campus. We're also unfortunately unable to host any of our regional events as well. So in lieu of that, we are currently working as a team to put together some virtual opportunities for you. Obviously, the first one being this Facebook Live. We're trying to roll out some other events that are hosted regionally, or I should say regionally, but would be some sort of webinar feature that would allow students in a particular area of the United States or even the world to connect with either current students, faculty, or staff on our campus. So then you can still again get those questions answered and maybe even meet virtually some other students that are coming from your neck of the woods. So we're working on that right now. We're also putting together some what we call virtual appointments, opportunities for you to sign up to speak one-on-one with either an admission counselor like ourselves, one of our current students, or potentially some other faculty or staff members on our campus. Again, more of that information will come out in the coming days and weeks, and we'll send out those emails if you're already on our list, but we'll keep you updated on that so you can sign up for those. And again, you would have approximately 20 to 30 minutes to have a one-on-one conversation with someone from Chapman to really ask more in-depth questions, and also again to really learn about our experiences so you can really see if Chapman's a good fit for you.
Yeah, and I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but I do want to give you all a round of applause, a quick congratulations. Yes. If we were in person, we would try to shake your hand if we weren't social distancing, but congratulations on all of your hard work. You have put in the effort to get here, to kind of claim a spot on our university. I might be a little biased, but I think that our campus is a pretty amazing place, and you've done all the hard work, right? Now it's the decision time. Now it's the time to ask your questions. You've done a great job so far, and we have seen something really important in all of you that we'd like to have on our campus.
That's for all of our admitted students, our students that we've admitted for fall 2020, either out of high school are our transfer students, and then all of our students that we also have already started to admit for spring of 2021. Again, like we said, there was something in each one of your applications that really stood out to us, that made us really excited, that we saw could be a huge contribution to our campus community. So again, congratulations to you all. We're really excited to potentially have you as part of the campus.
Yeah.
Great.
Obviously, we don't have a timeline just yet of when campus operations will be back up and running, but we will let you know, as Amy said, keep an eye on your emails. It's really important for us to be able to communicate with you at this time, whether it's over the phone, via email, or really just checking those general emails that you're receiving from us. So make sure you keep an eye.
Yeah. I know we've been already getting a lot of questions, so I think we should start jumping into some of the FAQs, and then we can go more specifically into some of the questions you're asking right now. One question that we've already heard a lot of chatter about is related to that May 1 deadline for all of our high school students. Obviously, the deadline is different for our transfer population, so that's a completely different conversation. But for our high school students, that May 1 national deposit deadline still currently stands. Know that we are evaluating that on a, I want to say, day-to-day basis, just because everything seems to be changing even on the hour. So we are communicating with other offices on our campus. We're keeping an eye on how everything is progressing. If anything does change, if we are going to add either an extension of some sort, know that we'll communicate that. But as it currently stands, as of today, March 18th, the May 1 deadline is still our deadline for enrollment. So try to get your questions answered before then. Again, if we have any updates, we'll provide them, but May 1 is that.
Yeah, and we, of course, are hearing lots of chatter about housing and what your next steps are for the process of kind of claiming your spot on campus, making sure that you know what the ins and outs look like. Our housing application is not yet open. Keep in mind that we are working with our current students in housing right now, making sure that they all have safe places to go and are with their families at this time. So our housing team is working around the clock truly to make sure that they have as much information to give you as possible. Typically, our housing application will open in March. We're thinking it's going to be in April this year. So once again, keeping an eye on your email. As long as you submit your housing application by our deadline, which is May 15th at the moment, you will be secured in your housing. You are guaranteed a spot, particularly as a first year on our campus for your first and second year on campus. So that freshman and sophomore year.
And know as well, we don't give priority for housing in terms of timing. So whether you submit it on April 1st or you submit it on May 15th, you're given the same consideration for housing. So there shouldn't be any pressure there in terms of trying to get access to the application as soon as possible. Just know that as soon as it does become available, you'll have access to it. You'll be able to submit that. As it currently stands, May 15th is the deadline, so you have until then to submit that. So hopefully that eases some of your concerns. Again, if we end up opening the application later, then we'll extend that deadline because we know that's not fair to you. So we're trying to be communicative with that, making sure that you have those resources.
Yeah. And for transfers, your current deadline for the housing application will be June 15th. So know that you will have an extended deadline just in our general timeline of events. And should we need to push back, we'll keep you updated as well. And this is one of the best kind of questions to answer, is how roommates are going to be assigned. I got really, really lucky. I don't even know if lucky is the word, because I feel like most people have good stories about their roommates, but my freshman year roommate ended up being my best friend, and we didn't choose each other. We were just randomly assigned. And we actually assign your roommates by schools and colleges. So you can technically send an email and say, hey, I want to be a roommate with XYZ and this person or this person. We actually encourage you not to do that. We encourage you to take this time as a first year student or even a transfer student to really have the opportunity to meet someone new, right? Outside of your general kind of group of students that you might be going to Chapman with. If you don't know anyone, you're in a great boat, right? You're going to be paired with someone who is likely in a major that is similar to yours, or at least in the same college as you. So for example, if I was a student in the Ardra School of Business and Economics, I might be paired with someone who is an economics major or an accounting major while I'm studying business administration.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a great pairing process. Our Housing Residence Lab does a great job in taking into consideration the survey that you do fill out. So the intention behind that is to create those living and learning communities. I'm seeing a lot of questions come up right now. We're getting a handful. There was one that I already saw that popped up, and we're going to kind of flop around a little bit. But it was referencing getting in contact with faculty at this time. So know that we are working with the departments to try and provide opportunities to contact and talk to those faculty members. Again, we're still in progress. Our faculty are doing an amazing job right now of really prioritizing our current students and really making sure that they have those remote learning opportunities available, and really transitioning those students off campus, either onto Zoom or Blackboard or other platforms. And as soon as they're, I don't want to say finished because it's going to be ever evolving, but as soon as they are settled into those new routines, then they'll be available to be able to help answer questions. I know one of the questions was over the phone, either via email or something of that sort. So that's a great option for us as well. So let's see what other questions that we have right now. Can prospective students still come to campus to visit on our own and do a self-guided tour? As it currently stands, yes. Yeah. So we do have some pamphlets and brochures available in our Welcome Center. Again, as it currently stands, the building is still open. So if someone was to walk in there, grab a brochure, walk themselves around campus, that is something that is available. We did receive yesterday, like I said, an update in terms of Orange County giving restrictions on personal gatherings, gatherings of any sort, whether it be personal or professional. So we are cognizant of the fact that we want to make sure that individuals are abiding by those guidelines, but for the most part, our campus is still available. We have a handful of students that for various reasons aren't able to leave campus right now. And so we do have some students that are living on. And so as a result, we still have administrators, other staff on campus. So there are still people available, but unfortunately, our team isn't there to greet you and welcome you to campus. You can certainly get a sense and walk around if you haven't had the chance yet.
I would expect campus to be very bare right now. So it's not going to be like your typical campus visit. Nor will it maybe showcase our Chapman family, right, in all of its glory. So if you can come back, or if you can make plans in the future, we will have lots of virtual options as well as videos that we'll release at a later date. But keep in mind, it won't give you the whole picture. So we want to make sure that we get you covered maybe on an additional visit or just over the phone for follow-up questions as well.
Another cool feature that we have rolled out, if you want to talk to a current student and get a little bit more of a sense of what that student life looks like, we have a new platform on our website. All you have to do is go to chapman.edu, click on the admission page, and you'll be prompted to go to a chat with a student feature. You can log on there and you'll see a full list of several of our students. That includes their name, their major, their hometown, some of the things that they're involved in. I really encourage you to start perusing those pages, start to see who our students are, and then if there's anyone that's involved in something or majoring in something that you're interested in, reach out to them. Start a conversation. They're happy to chat with you. We've talked with them in terms of being able to respond within 24 to 48 hours. So they are being, they're actively checking that and responding to any questions that you might have as well. Yeah.
One of our next questions, I think, is one that many of you might have on your mind. What do you do if you commit to a major and you enroll at Chapman and want to change majors than the one you've already been enrolled in? So changing majors on our campus can be fairly simple. Some majors will have an application process or a portfolio review, maybe an audition if you're looking at something that is related to our creative, media, or talent areas, specifically in the College of Performing Arts or our Dodge College of Film and Media Arts. So keep in mind, if you're thinking of changing a major to something in a talent area, you will have a couple more hoops to jump through, but it can be explained to you in the process. You wouldn't actually change your major typically until you were already on our campus. But if you're already thinking about changing your major, make sure to email in your admission counselor. That's who you've been getting emails from this entire time. You'll see maybe one of our faces in your email inbox. Just feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to chat with you either about how we can change it now or what you can do to change it when you're already on our campus. Other areas of campus, in our Wilkinson College of Humanities and Social Sciences, as well as our maybe Schmid College of Sciences, those areas are a little bit easier to switch into and out of, making sure that you have prerequisites complete along the lines as well.
Yeah. And if you're not sure who your admission counselor is, you just log into your applicant portal. That's the same portal that you use to find out your admission decision. It should say who your admission counselor is. So that's a great place to go double check that if you're not sure. The other thing that we also have received some questions about, all related to financial aid. I know finance is a huge component of deciding where you're going to school. I know for both of us, financial aid was that deciding factor on selecting Chapman. So if you have any specific questions, I always encourage students to talk to their admission counselor. Anything that's related to the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, does go through the financial aid office. Anything that's related to merit scholarships goes through our office. But know that if you aren't sure who to go to, you can always start with your admission counselor, and then we can help direct you as to where you need to go to talk to and continue those conversations. I know there's another question related to departmental scholarships and when those will be awarded. From my understanding, most departments have already started to allocate those awards and have notified students. I believe a few are still in that review process. So again, if you're not sure about that, you can always default to your admission counselor, ask them, or even go to the department directly and ask them. But we're here to help you out with all of that.
Yeah. One of the other questions that we're seeing is how would you double major? Simply put, once you're a student on our campus is when you can begin to declare a second major. Once again, if they're in a talent or creative area, you will have an application or some type of review process. Other ones, you might just need to go to the head of the department, which is really doable on a campus of our size. You may even meet them during orientation or your first few weeks of school. Chatting with your academic advisor is a huge way to understand how to declare a major, maybe even declaring a minor or sometimes a double minor. Our students get very creative in terms of pairing majors and minors together. So it's very doable on our campus, and you'll likely still graduate in 4 years as well.
Yeah. Myself in particular, I had a major in communication studies and a double minor in education and psychology because I just couldn't pick one thing to focus on. I like so many different areas. So if you have many passions, CHUM is a great place to explore multiple areas, whether they're seemingly related or unrelated.
Oh, I got a shout out actually. Sadie, as a first gen student, how did you get involved with first gen programs? Well, I think one of the most important things to think about, by the way, a first generation college student, I should probably explain, is someone whose parent or legal guardians have not yet received a bachelor's degree, a 4-year bachelor's degree. So if your parents, if your sibling has gone to college before you, that's great. That's awesome. You've maybe had a role model to look up to, a mentor in some way, but you are technically in the generation that is first gen, right? So you're one of the first people in your family to attend a 4-year university, and you are, by our definition, a first gen student. One of actually the biggest regrets that I have from school is not getting involved enough in first gen programs. We have an amazing department on our campus called the Promising Futures Program. It's run by Dr. Quaylen Allen, as well as his student assistants and some graduate assistants. There is support from the top down and the bottom up. These students are super involved on campus. They're very proud to be first gen. You'll see them repping their t-shirts, their backpacks, and they also have a Promising Futures program that is actually called the Summer Bridge program. So it's for incoming students that are admitted and enrolled on our campus. It's basically about 2 to 3 days of programming to kind of give you a pre-orientation before you actually start our full orientation program. Your parents are invited to come with you. It kind of showcases what the first generation resources look like on our campus. That can be tutoring sessions that are additional. It can be like pizza nights and movie nights and bonding. It can be simply an ear to go to and someone to rely on and share your thoughts with as you kind of make your way through the 4 years at Chapman. I think we have an amazing support system, not only for students to be able to lean on during their time, but they can also help financially when it comes to maybe getting a stipend for a study abroad trip or a conference where you want to present research. There are some pretty amazing resources that come with the program. You don't have to do anything really big to get involved. I would say reach out to us or your admission counselors if you want more info on first gen programs. You're likely going to get emails from us anyway that say join our program. But it's really simple. You can do the Emerging Leaders, or sorry, not Emerging Leaders, that's a different one, the Summer Bridge program to get involved, or you can just simply show up to orientation and raise your hand and say, I want to be in this. It's kind of like a club or organization that you would join.
Definitely. Yeah. But along the same lines, I know we got some questions about the Emerging Leaders Retreat and the Adventure Trek programs. So those are pre-orientation programs. For all incoming students for the fall semester, we do have about 6 days of programming before classes begin. It's called our orientation week. Students are able to apply for programs such as Emerging Leaders, which allow them to move into the residence halls a little bit early and then do various activities that focus on different subject areas. So for example, the Emerging Leaders Retreat gives them opportunities to really hone in on their own leadership skills and abilities, and then also how they can apply that as students on our campus. So it really allows some of our students that want to get involved to really hit the ground running, start making those connections with other first-year students early on, and then be able to apply that within their first semester. Right now, that information is still being updated, so more information will be coming as the weeks progress. Typically, information regarding how to apply for the Emerging Leaders Retreat and other pre-orientation activities will come out more into the summer months, mainly because we want to wait until we know actually who is coming to campus for the following year. So stay tuned for that. They're all great opportunities. Again, all students will go through some sort of orientation program, but these are opportunities for students to do even kind of, I would say, orientation level 2, kind of like that pre-orientation activity.
Yeah. One thing that someone has asked is, when will you have virtual tours available? Is there any kind of ETA? Right now, we are working diligently to make sure that we are able to provide a really strong virtual tour for you, as well as those opportunities that Amy has mentioned about getting in touch with faculty, a student, or even your admission counselor. I would say keep an eye on your emails, because we will be blasting this information to you as soon as we've got it. I don't have an ETA for you just yet, but I promise you we're working pretty much around the clock to get these to you, with some help from faculty, staff, and our administrators on our campus. So keep that in mind. Even if you go onto YouTube right now and look at some visuals of Chapman and what's going on our campus, it can hopefully give you a sense of what campus looks like and the energy. I think that's really the one piece that we'd want to showcase to you if you haven't been able to visit us in person just yet. We've got some students taking over our social media accounts in various different majors, so you'll be able to ask them questions via Instagram. I think that's probably the easiest way to reach us at this point, so make sure you're following us on all of our social channels. Chapman Admission, I believe, is our handle on Instagram, so give us the follow button, even turn on your notifications, right, for our posts and our stories. That way you won't miss anything.
I was gonna say, follow this page if you aren't already. Following us on Instagram for Chapman Admission is also great. Yeah. Another account that is, I would say, related but not managed by our office is Chapman Youth Family. It's a great platform, and that is managed by our university as a whole. But every week there's a different representative from the university that takes over the account, and they just share their Chapman experience. It can be an alum, it can be a current student, even faculty members have taken it over. So it really varies in terms of who's managing it, and so you get various perspectives from across campus, which is a great option to follow as well.
So that was Chapman U Family on Instagram.
Cool. What other questions are we getting? Let's see.
Maybe something.
There was a question about internships. So in terms of internships and career opportunities on our campus, know that every school and college has their own type of career advising, whether that be an entire office or team dedicated to career advising for students in those majors, or it's one advisor assigned to the whole school. We also have our Career and Professional Development Center, and they work with students across campus, so they're a great resource to help advise everything from how to build your resume, how to get your cover letter ready, what to do when you go to a resource fair or to a career fair and talk to a recruiter, all the way to actually getting in an interview, and then how to find those internships and kind of land them. So that's available for all students, but then every school and college also has more specific and tailored career advising, because we know that career advising varies everything from the performing arts to our business school and our sciences. And so we want to make sure students are getting accurate information based off the industries that they want to go to. Myself in particular, being in the School of Communication, part of my degree requirements actually prompted me to do an internship. So in order to complete my degree, I had to do some sort of fieldwork experience, whether it be an internship or research. So I opted the internship route. The university was great in assisting me. I used the online portal that I could log into and was able to find an internship, applied through that, got an interview, and ultimately got that professional experience. And once I got that, I continued with it. So I ended up having 3 internships by the time that I graduated, all in various fields, which I think is valuable, not just in terms of understanding what it is that you like, but what you don't like in a professional setting. So something that we really encourage at Chapman is that hands-on learning and getting that professional experience. So in that way, not only do you know what you want to do in your professional career, but also you can prove that to a potential employer on your resume. So a lot of great resources on there, and it really spans all industries, for sure.
One of the other things that I think many people are asking about is Greek life on our campus. I like to think that we're experts at Greek life on our campus. Amy and I were both involved in Greek life when we were students, and we now work with our student workers who are heavily involved in it. I would say it's a fairly popular thing to be involved in on campus, but it's not the only thing to be involved in on campus. I would say, I think currently the number is around 32 to 33% of our students that are involved in a Greek life organization. Now, this is a social organization, but it also has academic components, philanthropic components, and they're very active on our campus. So right now we maybe have 8 sororities.
They keep adding more.
And
So
8 or 9 fraternities.
When we were students, I think it was 6 or 7. So
Yeah,
it's definitely
growing.
added even since we graduated. We're not that old.
No.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great opportunities. Kind of going back to my last comment, one of the internships that I got was because of someone in my sorority. So there are a lot of great professional bonuses with that. One of the biggest events that Greek Life does host is an event called Skit Night, where it's like I like to say it's like a mini Broadway production.
Yes.
Because every chapter puts together their own theme and choreography and storyline, and then they perform it for the entire community, whether it's Greek Life or non-Greek Life. So anyone can come see the show. And it's an awesome opportunity to really see students come together. It's really fun because every chapter keeps their theme secret. And so it's like a big unveiling on the first night of the show and seeing what everyone's been working on for weeks. And there's other things that the Greek community does, everything from doing a Greek Day of Service, where everyone in the community comes together to do some sort of philanthropic or service work in the area. And then obviously the philanthropy events as well, each individually host.
They have a lot of leadership opportunities. You can get involved as soon as your first year on campus, but you can also join as late as your senior year on campus. So I think our Greek Life is different than others in terms of a couple different areas. We don't have any housing technically for our Greek chapters. So you won't see any little mansions on or around our campus that have Greek letters in front of them. It's something that I think we take pride in. Our students can live with whoever they want to live with. You can be friends with people in different chapters and organizations. And there's a lot of collaboration that comes in our Greek Life. Like I said, it's a very popular thing to do on campus, but it's also not a make or break for your Chapman experience. If you find that it's intriguing to you, definitely sign up to go through the recruitment or rush process. But if you find that it's not going to be integral to your experience, or you give it a shot and you find that you want to use your time elsewhere, follow your heart, right? Figure out what works best for your schedule and how you want to integrate it into your time at Chapman.
Going along with that, I saw another question pop up whether or not we have some sort of student government association. We do. So that's another opportunity for other students to get involved. Many of our students will run for office, and if they are elected, they can represent either a general student population, whether it be their school or college, a particular grade level. Students that are part of SGA have a huge voice on our campus to really bring about change. They're actually the organization that bans smoking on campus, and so we are a smoke-free campus. And they've brought other types of initiatives to light and really presented that to administration. So SGA is a great opportunity for students, and you can start running for those offices as early as that first year on campus. It's not limited by any means to upperclassmen.
What I'd really love to see to make this even more tangible too is that our SGA elections are actually ongoing right now. So, and our students vote online. So it hasn't necessarily impacted the election process, which I think is really important. And our students were still able to get in at least one debate before we left campus. So they were able to hopefully hear a little bit about what each candidate was hoping to add to our university. So definitely take an opportunity to see if it's for you.
I know we've got some other questions related to study abroad. Study abroad is another component as part of the Chapman experience. It's actually in our mission statement to really promote global citizenship. And so we take that pretty seriously here. Students have the option to study abroad for a full semester, which equates to about 4 months. And if they do so, they would work with our Center for Global Education and finding a program that works for them. And then they would ultimately be able to go abroad for that time period. They would be taking classes at another institution, usually another university that's in that country, earning credit that ultimately would transfer back for credit at Chapman. So they're still making progress towards their graduation requirements. We also have travel courses that are available. Those are for shorter periods of time, usually anywhere from like a week to 6 weeks long. Those travel courses are faculty led. So someone from our campus usually takes a class with students to that part of the world the class relates to, teaches in that particular area, really adds the value of that learning experience. And then again, students get credit for that. And I know you did a travel course.
I did. I got to venture to the Galapagos Islands off the coast of Ecuador. It was pretty fantastic. I saved a lot for it, and I made sure that it was something that I could do. I would say if you're looking for a really good financial option, those travel courses are a little bit more budget friendly, or they can be. But study abroad on our campus is really accessible, I would say, from a general standpoint. Your tuition typically remains the same, and at most places, you can bring your Chapman scholarship with you. We also have a semester at sea option, where you're basically like our friends Zach and Cody, but it's college level on a cruise ship. And you are really seeing the world with not only Chapman students, but students from other universities around the country. So there are many options, and you can probably find one that fits you and your major.
Yeah, and fun fact about Semester at Sea, it was started by Chapman.
Yeah, that is true.
We, back in the 70s, I believe, thought it would be a good idea to buy a cruise ship and put a bunch of students on it and let it set sail, and it's been wildly successful. So Semester at Sea now collaborates with schools across the United States, so students that are on the cruise ship get to still interact with students from across the U.S., but its original home was with Chapman, so we're very proud of that.
Very proud.
Yeah.
Let's see. How easy is it to take classes across all the different colleges?
It's actually required.
Yeah, it is required.
Yeah.
Actually.
So our general education program is pretty diverse. We expect our students to take classes in all different subject areas. So it's safe to say that at some point you'll be taking a class of some sort in a different school or college. If you really enjoy a subject matter, going back to our previous statement, you can turn that into a minor or maybe a second major if that's something you can do. But yes, there is a lot of flexibility there to be able to explore different areas on campus.
Yeah. Usually all intro level courses are going to be open. As long as there's a seat in the classroom open, you can get a signature to sit in on that class and have it count towards your graduation requirements.
Yeah. Along with that too, I know some questions related to AP classes.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a popular question related to AP tests being canceled. And so know that we are understanding of that. If there are obviously more updates, we're still waiting on some of those as well. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of answers as it relates specifically to how College Board is managing that. But we are obviously very understanding of that. And so as things progress, stay updated, we'll make sure that we communicate that information back to you as well. If you have any AP scores already from say junior year or previously, you're welcome to check our website and you can see what AP score you have and how that might equate to receiving transferable college credit on our campus. And then hopefully we'll be able to find out more information in terms of when AP tests could be available. So hopefully still allow you the opportunity to gain some of that credit to bring into Chapman as well.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing goes for our IB students. If you're taking those IB tests as well, it's a great thing for us to make sure that our directors know and that we can potentially do some shifting there to make sure that we get the right credits where it's needed as well. Another question that I think we're getting pretty popular is, can you please let us know what it means to be admitted for spring and not the fall semester? We have an option for students to be admitted for spring on our campus because we have more room sometimes, right? So in the fall, we offer as many spots as we can to fill our campus and to fill our dorms. But we have so many amazing students in our actual applicant pool that we want to be able to offer admission to those that we can for the spring semester. So while you might not physically be on our campus taking classes during the fall, if you've been offered a spot in the spring, truly know that we do want you on our campus. We're happy to be able to make sure that your fall semester, if you'd like to take credits at a community college course, will be built and ready for your intro steps once you get to our campus. It's important to remember that some students on our campus graduate early and or they may go abroad, right? So we have a little bit more room in our dorms. We have more rooms in spots on campus in our general classes. So if we can bring some more Panthers in our spring class, that's what we're trying to do, right? Is offer those opportunities. Yes, of course, students will bond during their fall semester on our campus, but I like to think our campus is really engaging and inclusive of one another. When new students come to campus, we have an orientation for you. It's a little smaller than our general fall orientation, but it's about, I think, a day and a half, making sure that you are accustomed to campus, you know where you're going on your first day of class, and that you have a mentor or someone that you can rely on to ask those questions, right? Where should I be picking up my books? What's the best dining, option on campus? How can I spend my Panther bucks? The little intricacies that come with knowing campus, we'll make sure you're set up and on the right foot, especially for classes and social opportunities as well.
Yeah, and like we said before, Greek life, for those that are interested in it, for our sororities, that does take place in the spring semester. So students that are coming in for the spring, there's still the opportunity to participate in recruitment, whether it be for sororities or fraternities. And I know there also have been some questions in terms of rules regarding hazing and with the fraternities and the sororities. Know that there are strict policies on our campus, and there's a zero tolerance policy for any chapters. So if there's any issue or any concerns that are brought up about it, it's seriously addressed. So that's something we want to do in terms of making our communities very safe. What are some other questions that we have right now?
Let's see. What about contact with athletic coaches if we are playing a sport and being a part of tryouts? If you have not already gotten in touch with a coach for your particular sport, we would encourage you to reach out to them. Some of our sports have been canceled, some are still working right now. It's kind of up in the air, but I encourage you to reach out to those coaches that you're interested in getting connected with. All of their emails are on the website, so you can just type in Chapman Athletics on Google. There's a form that you can fill out if you're a prospective student and you're kind of jumping into this with us. There's a form for you that you can fill out to show your interest. And then if you're already admitted, go ahead and shoot an email over and say, hey, what does the process look like when I get to campus, right? Can I be training over summer? Do we allow students to join us in the summer? Those are a lot of questions that you can be asking directly to the source. If you don't hear back, let your admission counselor know. We're happy to be a resource for you and to knock on their door as well. People get busy, but we want to make sure that you're taken care of. So don't be afraid to reach out to us as well or copy us on the email.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And another question was related to tryouts. Again, a lot of things we're just waiting to see how everything progresses with COVID-19. So as of right now, everything for the fall semester is still planned as we have anticipated. But if anything does change and if it impacts the athletic teams, the academic units, anything on campus, we'll be sure to make sure that that's updated and clearly communicated to everyone as soon as we have information that's available.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Another question that I think we're getting a little bit more of is a car necessary for your first year. I go back and forth on this, to be honest with you. I think it can be helpful, but I also think you don't need it. Because you're going to be required and guaranteed housing your first 2 years as a first year student and a sophomore. Our campus is very walkable. We have a shuttle system that takes students to and from different parts of our campus that are a little bit farther, maybe more of like that 10 to 15-minute walk. But you're going to be able to get between your classes very easily. We have amazing dining commons as well as food options and a Starbucks. There's an extension of our campus. If you've never been before, I encourage you to look up the Orange Circle or the Orange Plaza. It's a really beautiful kind of old town historic district, but it's really updated. So we've got not only antique stores and an Army Navy supply store, but we've got a Starbucks, we've got an Earth Cafe, Phil's Coffee, if you're from the Bay Area, I think that's huge up there.
Yep.
They're in the process of finishing their building and construction. We've got pie, we've got eateries, burgers, 3 different pizza places. I mean, you're gonna have the access to what you might need. There's a Target down the street from us that we do a shuttle service to on the weekends, as well as like a Trader Joe's and a grocery store. So if you need those essential items, you're gonna be able to access them. And I highly suggest making friends with someone who has a car, because then you can, give them a couple bucks for gas, if that, and kind of build that friendship as you go do these little trips for errands or the beach or things like that.
So if you want a car, you can have a car. Do you need a car? No.
No. Yep.
The moral of the story.
Yeah, and I want to mention our University Programming Board, which is something that you would probably learn about if you visited our campus, is really in charge of all of the, I want to call it just fun and engagement on our campus. So it's a group of students and a few staff members that will plan events on our campus, as well as excursions away from campus. So I saw posters the other day on campus for trips of students that were going to do a hike to the Hollywood sign. You do for a full day. So you get on a bus in the morning, it's completely free. All you have to do is RSVP. You get on this bus, bring a couple friends with you, bring your backpack and your hydro flask. You go hike to the Hollywood sign, take a bunch of pictures, and then they were kind of doing a little LA escapade on the way down. So they stopped at a really famous restaurant, and then I think they were coming back to campus around 5 p.m. So that's completely free, really just an excursion to see something outside of our campus, especially if you're not from California, right? And you want to be able to experience things that are off of our campus and out of Orange County as well. And they do this for Disneyland, they do it for Knott's Berry Farm, the beach.
So many options.
There's so many.
Yeah.
So you'll always have a way to get around.
Yeah, there's always something to do at Chapman, which is a nice thing.
Yes.
I think for time's sake, thank you for everyone who has tuned in. You've been asking great questions. I wish we could get to all of them. We obviously aren't able to answer all of them in the time that we have allotted, but know that we are going to be responding to anyone that had asked a question that we haven't answered. We're also going to be saving this on our Facebook page. So if you tuned in late, you want to watch the beginning, you should be able to access that soon enough. So again, hopefully some of your questions will be answered. So we'll take maybe 1 or 2 more and then we can wrap things up. And again, as a default, you can always email your admission counselor. So ask us those questions. We want to be a resource for you. Ask our students on the admission page as well. They want to be a resource for you. And of course, soon enough time, we'll have access to our faculty to be able to answer some of your questions as well.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm seeing is, can you talk about the brand new science building? If I started talking about it, you probably wouldn't be able to stop me. Our Keck Center is one of the newest buildings on our campus. It's the size of our football field, 3 stories with parking underneath, plenty of lab space and new space for professors to kind of have those one-on-one moments with students and be able to offer mentorship. We will have a virtual tour coming out very soon of the Keck Center, so keep an eye on your emails and on our website, because that will be making its way to you soon.
Yep. Cool. Any other questions? Well, it looks like we've had over 300 questions.
Yeah, almost 400 comments.
Almost 400, yeah. So again, we will be following up with individual questions that some of you may had. If you feel like your question wasn't thoroughly answered to the point that you were trying to make, again, email our team and we'll make sure we get that information for you all. Thank you for tuning in. Congratulations on being admitted. We are so excited to potentially have you on our campus next year. Stay healthy, and let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out. This is our entire job right now. Many of us are home, cuddled up with pets, as mentioned, and ready to take your questions. So let us know what you need.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Thanks, guys.